Ladies and gents, how you doing? Hang on, Bosh, there I am. How are you? Huzzah, welcome to the BBC Spews Live. I told you I did have the week off this week, so I'm going to do some impromptu streaming. Here I am. Maybe we can look for something to talk about that's not related to Charlie Kirk, because I am sick of seeing it now. We know what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. It's going to be some raving, purple-haired sociopath, the type who bursts into shops and goes, "It is ma'am. It is ma'am." There's been some class ones. In fact, I could show you that one because that'll be funny. Did everybody see the one that was floating around? I'll see if I can find it on my Twitter. Where the dude took his wig off and just, you could tell, was just fully ready to headbutt this woman into oblivion. Like, that's who's going to have done it. They're all total psychos. Like, I'm going to scroll through this page, see if I can find a good one. But, oh man, there's loads. It's only when you start looking for something on your Twitter you realise how much you post there. I thought that was only in the last week, but I bet it was longer. And you had that weirdo going, "It is ma'am." It was like another version of that, basically. But they're definitely the most deranged people in society now. And the thing is, they get people who are clearly mentally ill, and then they pump them full of mad drugs and hormones and stuff, don't they? Like, who thinks that's a good idea? Oh, this person seems completely deranged. Let's pump them full of drugs and that. Yeah, that'll be a good idea. It's a crazy time to be alive, isn't it? Crazy time to be alive. Yeah, I wish, if anyone's got a link to that, send me it, because I did retweet it not too long ago. And yeah, it was obvious. It was the obvious, 8 inches on the slack in a blouse. And someone was like, "Oh yeah, this is weird." It was a black woman as well. And then they started the victim Olympics. But it's crazy. Of course they're going to be murdering people. Like total psychos who are mentally unhinged. And we go, "I'll tell you what, why don't we just give you loads of mad pills and loads of experimental drugs and inject you full of pig piss or whatever shit they use. And then you'll definitely be normal after that. Definitely won't make you more mental than a box of frogs." I don't know what these people are thinking. Or we can do a bit more two-tier justice. There was a good one about a bloke spitting in a Rosa's face. Here it is, I found it. So, remember this one? I said it's like a mental illness dance-off where they start trying to out-mental each other. Look at this here. You'll love this. I don't know if I'll be able to keep... I won't be able to not interrupt, but we'll try. This is what women face. The moment the mask drops and the rage comes out, 50 seconds in, watch. So these are the people we're filling full of drugs and giving access to automatic weapons. Look at this absolute fruitcake. Watch this. Trying to pretend it's just an innocent, vulnerable woman. So definitely should be in women's changing rooms. Definitely should be trying to help teenage girls with the jam rags or the bra fittings. And definitely should be in the women's prisons. Check this out.
Ran into me.
Hang on, my audio's not working. Is yours working? Alright, that was weird. Let me look at the settings. Audio. Okay, yeah, that's working. Right. Sorted. Look at this. Absolute Fruit Loop. I'll blow it up a bit. Where have I gone? If you missed this, you're in for a treat. This is a beauty. This is funnier than the "It is ma'am. It is ma'am."
Ran into me because you're a transphobe and you're.
I look at.
Ran into me because you're a trans.
Tries to ape the feminine movements as well. "Oh my God, you ran into me." 30 seconds later, "I'll pull your fucking cock off." That's what these people are like. Absolute psychos.
Ran into me because you're a transphobe and you're having a bad life.
I have trans friends.
So why did you walk into me like that?
You're looking for problems and you're purposely antagonizing me.
Am I?
So I'm going to give you a minute and then I'm going to call the cops. Because you was going in that direction and now you're following me to this location. And I'm going to stand here for 1 minute.
You antagonized me.
Okay, what's your name?
You're a black woman calling a
What's
call
your
sign
name?
a trans woman. And I just want you to
What's
think.
your name?
I want you to think about that.
Okay.
You're a black woman calling the cops
Go ahead.
on a trans woman.
Continue to walk.
And I want you to think about that.
We're at 37
and
seconds.
I'm going to pray for you.
I'm going to hang.
Because I
I'm going to
pray-
stop recording at 1 minute, and I'm going to call the cops if you're still in my area. I haven't offended you in any
hit
way.
me on the sidewalk
and you're
with your body.
following me.
You hit me.
Honey.
It's not honey
Okay.
anymore, bitch. It's not honey.
Okay.
It's not honey, bitch.
We're just going to patiently wait.
That's absolutely class, isn't it? So it's like they spend the whole time doing the little hair flicks, and that, like, oh, you ran into me. I can't believe a black woman was victimized. And then the second he loses his rag, it's like, it's not honey anymore, bitch. What's that roundhouse your lips off, bitch? Like, oh yeah, cheers then. Love that. Amazing, isn't it? Absolutely, I was howling. The thing is, though, this is where it is hilarious if you're a bloke, but it's not hilarious if you're a bird or a kid or a teenage girl in the female changing rooms at the Dolphin Centre because you want to go and have a swim on a Saturday, and the next thing, this thing's just flops it out, and you've got an 8-inch dangler 2 inches away from your face while you're trying to dry your feet. It's off it, isn't it? I did notice that about the receded hairline. That's why it's funny, isn't it? Because I think they think they can go. Like, if you had hair like that, I mean, I'm receding a little bit, but he's like RoboCop. Like, if you can go from Richard O'Brien to having an excuse to wear a wig 24/7. Because if you're a bloke and you put a syrup on, you look like a knobhead, don't you? I couldn't just suddenly don a syrup, come in looking like Michael Fabricant. You look like a wanker. But if you can claim to be a bird, ain't got a mint excuse to put a dress on, walk around with a full-on syrup on, and no one will say anything. So, you know, you're laughing, aren't you? Let's get to the bit where they both start trying to play the victim, because obviously they're going to do that. It's a black woman versus a trans man. The victim Olympics.
Okay.
It's not honey, bitch.
We're just going to patiently wait for the cops.
Yes, we are.
This is getting...
You're a hypocrite.
It's
You're
getting
a
a
liberal
little bit more
hypocrite. And
aggressive.
you're a bitch. Yeah, I am aggressive. I'm PTSD, bitch.
Okay.
You fucked with the wrong tranny today, bitch.
I apologize.
I love it if he just went, yeah, flipped out and got it like, and next thing he's arm barring her on the sidewalk. The camera just hits the deck and you just hear, ooh, ah, ooh. What a psycho.
I'm sorry.
That's what you should be doing. You should be deleting that fucking video.
I will not, because I feel...
I have a lawyer. I have 2 and 3 lawyers, honey. I will sue your pants off,
I'm not going to speak
bitch.
anymore, okay?
I will sue your pants off.
I'm not speaking anymore.
Good.
You know, I've noticed this in real life. I always laugh uncontrollably when someone gets chewy in public because I like it. Like it's sort of, I think I'm only half joking about the rage boner. I'm the type of bloke that when someone starts throwing punches at me, I'll like be laughing maniacally as I uppercut them. I love that type of stuff. I think it's a weird thing, isn't it? Everyone responds differently to violence. But to me, this stuff's hysterically funny. The guy is an absolute weirdo. See, this is what I'm saying, right? You don't let them put their hands on you. If you, like I said to you, as long as you're covered legally, you got to defend yourself. I'd go on then. I'll tell you what, you get one more swing, and they never, having been hit by many women and even more men, they never take the easy out. Never. You go on then. Put your hands on me one more time. You get one last swing, and then you got goffed again, and then you just go badumph and send them to dreamland. If someone slapped me twice on the bounce in Sainsbury's, I'm telling you, they're getting sent into the shadow realm. That's where I draw the line. So this is just brilliant. But the reason I'm showing you this is because they do think, I mean, shock horror, They do think that the shooter from yesterday, you're going to be astounded by this, is obviously a bloke in a frock. So, I mean, you're not going to be too surprised if you watch this channel, are you? But this is what we're dealing with. The empowering and the conditioning and the brainwashing of raving lunatics. That's what's been going on for the last, I don't know, how long? Pick a period of time. At least 10 years. At least 10 years. I think it started with Brexit. I think that's us trying to take our fair share of the credit there. Like, you know, we shadowed Trump, didn't we? Or he shadowed Brexit. I think that was when the world went mad. That was when the rules changed and everyone went completely tonto. The left just didn't talk like this 15 years ago. We used to laugh at them all the time because they were harmless. They were like old school socialists like Jeremy Corbyn. They were harmless. You couldn't imagine Jezza putting on a frock and getting a bolt action rifle and taking a pot shot at anyone. But this is what happens. The last 10 years have drove them mad. So you get this, you can tell by the way he responds. This guy's one bad weekend off grabbing a shooter and climbing on a college roof. Isn't he? Absolute loony. So, love that. Proving us right all the time. And that's what my video was about today. None of the last 24 hours is surprising. It definitely isn't. Because this is what long-term viewers know. I've been saying it for years and years. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. COVID proved it. The response of the government and worms like Tobias Ellwood and all these other people conditioning millions of people and brainwashing them. They used military brainwashing techniques. Everyone knows that, right? Tobias Ellwood. Google him. Look what his job is. In fact, shall I do it now, just so you can have a look for yourself? Tobias Ellwood, here we are. Rat in a suit. Let's look at this. Rat in a suit. Lieutenant Colonel rat in a suit. From the volunteer reserves, yeah. Cause what do you think he was volunteering for? He transferred to the Army Reserve and went on to reach the rank of colonel in the 77th Brigade. And the 77th Brigade is a British Army Information Operations and Psychological Warfare Information formation created in January 5th, 2015. Oh, look. What a weird coincidence. What a weird... I was just saying how it seems like it was like about 10 years. And oddly, seems like 77th Brigade got created in January 2015. Weird that, innit? And then they used them to condition their own people. Army intelligence, you'd think it'd be to do like psyops on the enemy, but they didn't. They conditioned their own people, and they unleashed them on the British public. Maybe it's on the Wikipedia. Let's have a look. 2019. Yeah, Laurie Clark in Wired said the brigade was reportedly uses social media reportedly. Definitely does. Where the bloody hell did that go? That was weird. There. In 2019, Laurie Clark in Wired described the brigade as a psychological operations unit responsible for non-lethal warfare that reportedly uses social media to control the narrative, as well as disseminating UK government-friendly podcasts and videos. When did the military... By Christ, it's mental. When was that in the military's remit? To condition the general public of your own country. It's mental. It's like using the SAS to deal with armed robbery, or scrambling the parachute regiment because a rich guy's mansion gets burgled. The UK military isn't there to police the public. There's a great famous quote from, of all many references, Battlestar Galactica. It's fantastic because he talks about the difference, and he's paraphrasing Locke and the likes. The reason why you don't use the military to police the general public. Let's have a look if I can find it. Police state. I'm sure this will be it. Once again, YouTube mangles the frame rate, but the point remains. Let's see if this is it.
You have the only armed, disciplined force available.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be your policeman. There's a reason why you separate military and the police. One fights the enemy of the state. The other serves and protects the people. When the military becomes both, then the enemies of the state tend to become the people.
There you go. Wise words, right? Wise words. That is exactly right. That's exactly what the British government, the scum that now make up the British government, it's exactly what they've done to you. They've used the military to brainwash the people. And I don't think the Americans, because they're not quite as authoritarian as we are, I don't think they've done anything that bad. But the British public have, the British military has, the British government has. They've used the military to condition people. And that's not the job of the military, to disseminate UK government-friendly podcasts and videos. Use the military for that. That is a police state. Again, I mean, I've been telling you living in a police state for years, but that's what's going on. So, to segue back into what we were talking about, when the governments of the Western world have decided to take this line of attack where they go kid gloves with the far left while crushing the right, when YouTube and Facebook put people like me and Twitter, before Lord Elon bought it, put normal people like me on the shit list for talking normal, boring views. People like Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's opinions were echoed by 90% of Americans in 1980. Like, he was a boring, bog-standard Christian conservative. The people agree with Charlie Kirk, but the government, the mainstream media, and Silicon Valley have spent the last 30 years, but really ramped things up in the last 10, telling you that if you believe the same boring things that everyone believed until 2 minutes ago, that you're a killer and you're a fascist and you're a mass murderer. And that's why Charlie Kirk got killed. You almost can't fully blame the shooter, can you? You can't. And that's a controversial thing to say, but it's not if you pay attention. It's like Colin Griffiths. It's not if you pay attention. Because I'll tell you something, the military are the best they are, the best there is at what they do. It's not like being I hate it when the one thing that annoys me about Hollywood cop shows is they act like coppers are like soldiers. As Mr. Adama so eloquently just explained, police aren't soldiers. It's not even close. You see morons on Quora saying like, oh, who'd win? The 10 best SWAT guys or the 10 best Navy SEALs? I'm like, are you having a laugh? Like, they're not even remotely trained in the same way. The police are trained to protect and serve the people. And the military are created to smash the enemies of the state. A cop could do a traffic stop far better than a Navy SEAL could. A cop is trained to do chat-up technique and speak professionally to people when being accosted. A cop is trained to face hostility with politeness and calmness. Soldiers are trained to kill people on behalf of the state. So this is why it's so abhorrent when you learn that the police state, the fascist police state in the UK, has been using military indoctrination techniques on the general public. So what I'm saying to you is, when you get shooters like it is Merm, who's obviously going to have turned out to have been the person responsible for shooting Charlie Kirk, it's not really their fault. they haven't been trained. They're not trained to deal with this type of stuff. And I'm not doing the comedy thing of Demolition Man. They're police officers. They're not trained to deal with violence. I'm doing the real reality of the situation. Young civilians aren't trained or even should slightly expect to have to deal with military-grade conditioning. But that's what we've got now. So, of course, thousands and thousands of normal kids who would have otherwise been non-violent have spent the last 10 years having their minds poisoned 24/7. The hateful rhetoric is off the charts. So it's not their fault. It isn't. Obviously, you have to pay the consequence of your actions, and the shooter should be punished to the full extent of the law, but it's not really the shooter's fault. It's the fault of the deep state, the mainstream media, and Silicon Valley purposely conditioning people. You don't know what dodgy stuff Biden got up to. You don't know what dodgy stuff Biden got up to, but I bet you his government had a hand in propagating hateful rhetoric. Bootneck, it's time for you to come back to Borough and kick some butt. Here, listen, I'm cursed with a sentimental soul, so I still think about Middlesbrough daily, despite the fact I live in paradise, right? The best scenery, food and weather in the entirety of the United States, in probably the richest area of the richest country in the world. Basically, I'm a member of the 1%. I'm in Elysium. And I still think of Middlesbrough all the time. But genuinely, if I thought I could go back to Middlesbrough and be helpful, I'd do it. However, I know I can't. I think I can do more good by spamming the airwaves as often as I possibly can, changing minds and reaching out to people here, than I could by flying into Teesside Airport, getting nicked by Cleveland police, and then spending 10 months in a cell with electrodes on my testicles, which I'm sure I could take it. I'm sure I could take it like a man, but I'd be 10 months away from doing this, wouldn't I? So I don't think there's any point, unfortunately. I want Andy to be the next mayor of Middlesbrough. I like him. I like Andy. And he always talks to me on Twitter. Very fair-minded chap. We'll see how he gets on. Labour cheated him, didn't they? Again. That's all they do is cheat. Absolute scumbags. So this is where we're at. It's not the fault of the shooter. It's not the blame. If you're going to do a root cause analysis, the blame does not lie on the individual trigger man. The blame lies with the mainstream media, Silicon Valley, and Biden's goons from the last 4 or 5 years who've been working in tandem with the mainstream media to brainwash millions of people into becoming fanatical trigger men for the regime. So you can't even blame them. If you really think about it, young people are impressionable. And that's what they get now. They've got 10 years of psychotic conditioning, sometimes, if you're talking about the UK, at the hands of military professionals. So there you go. It's a mad state of affairs. MSNBC had to apologise, didn't they? Did you see that one? MSNBC issues grovelling apology over analysts' disgusting remarks because they're part of the problem. Of course, they're going to say that. That's what they've been saying for the last 10 years. MSNBC has been forced to issue an apology for comments by an analyst following the tragic death of Charlie Kirk. The founder of Turning Point USA was shot and killed during a speaking event in Utah on Wednesday. Following the shooting, MSNBC rat in a suit, Matthew Dowd, placed the blame for the shooting on Kirk. He also suggested that Kirk's shooting came from a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration. Yeah, like that's not a twisted thing to say. Shooting the gun off. Oh, yeah. Yeah, guns work like that, yeah. When you shoot them in the air, the round goes zit and then fires in a straight line at someone's neck. These people are deranged. So now they issue an apology. Well, it's not good enough. So they want to, again, this is what I keep saying, and I had a bit of an argument with some of Ben's followers on a stream last night, because they think I'm being a bit too aggressive with this stuff. But at the end of the day, the man who says that type of stuff, they should have a dossier foot thick with stuff he said like that. Matthew Dowd's an extremist. Because Charlie Kirk wasn't. Charlie Kirk was centre-right, boring, stuffy, Christian conservative, of which 50 million Americans fully agree with. Matthew Dowd is an extremist, a violent, pro-murder extremist who will have some dodgy things on his hard drive. Blokes like that, they should be round his house. And again, it's fair dues. This is on Sky News. Tragic death. Following the tragic death of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, no, you're right. It's totally following the cold-blooded murder of a young family man. Sky News is shocking. This is what I'm saying. So this is when we start to push back. Trumpy Bear should send in the hounds. I'd have a team of 20 feds around all the major HQ offices of MSNBC, CNN, Sky News, the BBC, The Guardian. Crikey, imagine how much diddler pornography you'd find if you went round the Guardian offices. It'd be an absolute field day. If they'd check the average Guardian employee's hard drive, it'd make Gary Glitter shit his pants. He'd go, oh, come on, lads. I know we all like a bit of kinky stuff, but come on, I'm not checking that out. They should just do it. Just do it. Take the gloves off. For too long, we've tolerated the double standard. This is what I'm talking about. If I said even half of the things that Destiny or Hassan Piker had said, that's what I made a video about today, I'd be in jail if I was in England, and I'd have been banned and cancelled and silenced if I was out here in the States. Like, the double standards are staggering. Off the charts, hypocrisy, it's outrageous. So get it sorted. Get it sorted. Go around this bloke's house and check his hard drive. Because if he's saying shit like this in public, proudly on television, he's an absolute weirdo. He's an absolute weirdo. So the online response to his comments was so severe, the network's president issued an apology. Statements from MSNBC President Rebecca Cutler. During our breaking news coverage of the shooting of Charlie Kirk, Matthew Dowd made comments that were inappropriate, insensitive and unacceptable. We apologise for his statements, as has he. There is no blah, blah, blah. And you can't promote violence for years and then say that with a straight face. Also, stop going on about Nancy Pelosi's husband, right? Nancy Pelosi's husband wasn't attacked by a MAGA guy. He was attacked in suspicious circumstances by a very peculiar rent boy, right? Who he strangely seems to have had some sort of prior engagement with. So let's not even pretend that's in the same ballpark. It's not in the same ballpark. It's not in the same county. It's not on the same planet. A bloke getting his head caved in by a rent boy is not the same thing as a fanatical woke activist being conditioned by MSNBC, CNN and Hassan Piker, and then getting a .308 bolt action rifle and blowing a bloke's windpipe out in front of thousands of innocent bystanders. It's not even in the same planet. So shut up talking about it, all right? They reckon that's the weapon, which confirms what we were talking about in my chat room yesterday. You could tell, like I said, he was dead. The second I seen that video, I was like, he's a dead man. What people don't understand is there's a big difference in muzzle velocity from a handgun to a rifle. And they used to tell us this when we first went on the big 50s at work, shooting a .5. They're like, if one of these hits you, you're dead. You're just dead. If it hits you in the gut, you're a dead man. It'll take a chunk out your back the size of a bowling ball, and it'll just suck the blood out of your body. You can take a few rounds from a handgun in this day and age quite easily. The only reason the murder rate is as low in London as it is, it's very deceptive, is because of modern technology. Can't say the murder rate's quite low. It's because 99% of the people who should have died survived because of all the technology we've got. But if you get hit with a big caliber, a 308's like big. Like if you hold the round, it's way bigger than a 5.5, which is a rifle. The muzzle velocity and the size of the round, you're a dead man if you get hit with the 308 like that. You could see it's just whack, sucks the blood out of him. If you see smaller arterial wounds, it gushes with your heartbeat, but that's just emptied him. It's the velocity of the round, it's the size of the bullet. It's he's done. So it's pure evil. Like, on the plus side, he probably didn't know much about it. They were saying he was fighting for his life. No way. He'll have been dead in 10 seconds. There's no way you walk away from that. So it's a small mercy, but at least he knew anything about it. I like to think that the last thing went to his mind was, prove me right then, lads. Prove me right. He was a man of faith. I'm not. At least that would have brought him some succor. They proved me right. Lord, they proved me right. And, well, I hope he's right about what happens when you die, because a man like that will go to a good place, won't he? As opposed to me, I'll just throw me in the same ditch my granny's in. Not too worried about it. Maybe this is why I have a stiff upper lip and a sense of humour when the world's on fire. It's a crazy time to be alive. So as I said, you've got to keep your sense of humour, though. You can't go mental. The response to this type of behaviour is not to lose the plot, grab a gat and make your way to your local left-wing arts college. It isn't. That's not what you do. It's not what you do. You take measured, logical steps, and I outlined them in the last video I made this morning. Go and check it out if you haven't. It's common sense, really. If you want to stop war killers, in fact, I'll put it up here on the off chance YouTube shadow banned it and none of you guys saw it. But if you want to stop this type of thing from happening regularly, obviously violence begets violence. That's another thing the old G-Boo was right about. You stop it by tackling the root cause of the problem. And if you just go mental in response and turn up at your liberal arts college and start putting holes in fat birds with purple hair, you're just going to cause more violence. What you do is you grapple with the root cause, and the root cause is the big three. So the measured steps I outlined in that video is smash the extremists, smash them. It's what we should be doing with the regulars at Allen's Snack Bar in the UK. Crush them. Crush them. The dossier on the extremists in the UK is a foot thick. If we know you're one bad day away from committing an atrocity, smash them. You know it. You know this. Every single killer in the UK is known to the authorities. Axel Rudu Kanubru, if I was in charge, would have been in a cage long before he went to Southport. London bombings, known to the authorities. Manchester Arena, known to the authorities. We know who they are. We know who they are. So today, the FBI should simply enact the same measures with their domestic terrorists in the United Kingdom, that we've got in the United Kingdom, these dossiers. They know who they are. They'll have a top 100, and if they wanted to, if they have the will to do it, they can go around their houses today and get them all off the street. Top 100. Top 100 will do for openers. Destiny and Mahdi Hassan and Hassan Piker and Keith Olbermann, the really extreme ones, get them in a cell. Get them in there, get the electrodes out, waterboarding, whatever they can get away with, right? It's targeted. I'm not saying we just do it to any old randos. Start with the list. They know who they all are. Get them off the streets. Get names, details, who they're talking to, the professors they're speaking with, the media moguls they're talking to, the writers, the activists, the academics, the lecturers, the professors. Get them. Get them. Easy done. Top 1,000. They will have. They will have. That's how you do it. Crush them. Kill the ideology where it's in its the gestation. Just uproot and branch. All of it. Every single far left faculty gets shut down. You're only allowed to get federal funding for your university or your college if you go through the faculty like a dose of salts and get rid of these absolute weirdos. That's what they need to do. They did do it in Northern Ireland, and it's getting bad enough here. Because if they don't put a plug in it now, it'll get worse. And next week, you'll get a right-winger respond. And then next week, and the week after, you'll get a left-winger, a walkie, respond. And it'll never end. So get him. Get him. Definitely. Van Jones, lock him up. Keith Olbermann's a psychopath. You can see in his eyes. When Keith Olbermann talks, you can see he's lost the plot. So why wait? Why wait? If they waited too long with Rudu Kanubu, they waited too long with, what's his name now? Christ, there's so many. I've done so much streaming and so much filming and so much news. What's he called? I know all the names. Manchester Evening News arena bomber. What was he called? Salman Abedi. Salman Abedi, Rudu Kanubu, Michael Adewale, who chopped off Lee Rigby's head. They know who they all are. They know who they all are. So scoop them up. It's time to pull the trigger, boys and girls. Scoop them up, drag them off. Black site in South America somewhere. Put them in a wheelie bin. Throw a speaker in, playing, I don't know, Highway to Hell, non-stop for 27 hours. Put them to the question and crush them. It needs to stop. The ones who have who have moved and come to the middle ground. Chris Cuomo's been saying all the right things lately. If they're willing to walk back from the brink, do them a solid. But these ones on these watch lists, especially, well, in England, that's what needs to happen. Before the next Southport, there's going to be another Southport. Like, I'm talking about this. We knew this was going to happen to Charlie Kirk. We knew someone was going to get popped by a woke fanatic with big forearms and a frock on. We knew it was going to happen. Why wait for it to happen? Get him. Get him. We need a right-wing government in the UK who'll just get him. Say, listen, I'm sorry, but these are intelligence-led operations. These 40,000 individuals, they've done this, and this. They've got this. They're openly hostile. They're pro-violence. Just get them. Get them. Charge me with whatever you can. They always go, yeah, but we may be waiting for a big one and we can get them for 11 years. If you can lock them up for 5, do it. Look for anything you can. Lock them up. All right, 43,000, I don't care. That'll do. 43,000's nothing. We could jail every one of them. We've got space for 43,000 people. Here's a novel idea. This will blow your mind. This is how much of a problem solver the Bootneck is, right? When I was at 42 Commando, was when Commando 21 went through, and they suddenly added an extra company of fighting men to each commando unit. So you know what they did? We were living in 4-man flats with 2-man cabins, so 6 of us in a flat. They turned the TV room into a bedroom, and every TV room got 2 beds put in it. And all of a sudden, we went from a 6-man flat to an 8-man flat. Voila! More people in the same sized commando unit. Here's a novel thought. More beds in the cells. There you go. That's weird, isn't it? If you're in a 1-man cell, you get a bunk bed. If you're in a 2-man cell, you get a 3-up. If you're in a 4-man cell, well, we'll just give you, we'll put another 4 in, you can have an 8-man cell. Don't tell me we haven't got space for them. It's easy. There you go. British government, you can have that for now. And all it'll cost you is a few thousand extra beds. And in fact, we can just give them cot beds. We don't need to buy the beds. You can just get the cot beds that the military use. Easy. So, sorted. Problem solved. Done. 42,000 in the cells. Problem solved. Don't have to do anything fascist. Don't have to take anyone for free helicopter rides. Don't have to bury anyone in the middle of the desert. Just get them all. Say, we've got the evidence. Here's this text, this email, this phone call, this rally you went to. You support murder. You're violent. You're one bad day away from killing someone. We've had enough of this. We're not having another Southport. Suck it up, boys. There's your dinner for the next week. That's 1 pack of pork scratchings and some bacon-flavoured toothpaste. You horrible, slimy, thieving, dirty, Bronze Age, pot-bellied barbarian. There's your dog toothpaste for your hygiene and 3 pints of 3 pints of bacon gravy, and get yourself in there. We'll see you in 6 years' time. Yeah, cheers. Anyway, I'm going to go to the gym, and then I'm going to do a stream with Paula at 2. So I think that'll be 10. Most of you lot will be in bed anyway. But she's starting a new channel, so I said I'd go on there and have a chat with her. And I need to rest my vocal cords for an hour and a half, so that'll do. If you disagree with me and you don't think we should issue dog toothpaste to regulars at the snack bar, please let me know in the comments, all right? And I'll see you all tomorrow, because, again, I've got the day off, so I'll probably do a stream then as well. See you in a bit. Thanks for watching. Toodle pip. Cheers.